Good afternoon or good morning or good evening, depends on where you are in the world. We are here live today. Tuesdays are always our light the torch days. It's one of my favorite days of the week where we get to celebrate all the new books. And today we are lighting the torch for our next book called Her Healthy Glow. Embrace wellness, radiate confidence from the inside out. And there are a total of 16 incredible co-authors in this book. And Her Healthy Glow is not just about her outside healthy glow, but it's about her inside healthy glow as well. So I am going to ask the ladies who have joined us today to take 30 seconds, share a little bit about who they are, what they do, and then we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into the book and some of the questions and our chapters. The book did release today across Amazon in ebook. You can get it today for 99 cents. So you can buy one or you can buy 101 and gift them. So let me start with Erica. Erica is one of the co-authors of the book. Good morning, Erica. How are you today?
Good morning. Sorry, I was great. It's wonderful to be here. First off, I just want to say how excited I am. And I just love She Rises Studio. This has been a dream come true that I have wanted to write for umpteen million years. And so getting the courage was really this kind of thing with anthologies. I love it. Thank you so much, Hannah, for your love for all of us, and appreciate being here. But I'm a counselor. I'm a coach. I own Warrior Heart Healing Hearts. I've been a counselor for over 30 years, and I do coaching with individuals, helping them learn, grow, and soar with God as their pilot.
Well, thank you for sharing, and I'm happy to have you here. Let's go to Hanya. You want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Hanya. So I'm from Ontario, Brampton in Canada. So it's afternoon here. So I'm currently studying settlement counseling. I have a background in community development. I'm a content creator. So I do food reviews. I also write for a magazine called More Than a Crown Magazine as a freelance writer. And I currently also compete in different competitions, that is poetry and all different types of things. And I currently facilitate in disabled arts. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's go to Sonia. Good morning, Sonia.
Well, hello, everyone. So good to be here. I'm very excited to be here with all these wonderful women. My name is Sonia Rodriguez. I'm a psychotherapist and coach at Transition to Wellness. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a licensed professional counselor, and a licensed clinical and alcohol and drug counselor. I work predominantly with young women and women in transition who are trying to navigate the challenges of life. I've also done a lot of work with immigrant populations and helping them to transition into living in a new culture and living in a new country. And I am currently working with a number of clients who are just kind of navigating their career changes or any kind of life transitions. So I'm excited to be here with all of you.
Thank you for sharing. Let's go to Tina. Good morning, Tina.
Good day. Thank you for having us. I just want to acknowledge Hannah for living in her brilliance, for creating such a platform for us. So hi, I'm Tina Simon. I am a business burnout management coach and a licensed psychotherapist. I'm also an NLP integrative practitioner, speaker, author, and CEO of Coachinizer. I've spent the last 20 years working with high-performing leaders to help them thrive in their career and personal life without sacrificing their health or happiness.
Thank you so much, Tina, for being here today and being a part of this. Let's go to Carrie. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. Carrie Martin, registered nurse, certified health coach. I primarily work with women and women who are not familiar with self-care. A lot of women from my generation and even younger women, my daughter's age, they're not very familiar with self-care and all it entails. So that's my primary focus. And as you know, that can encompass so many things. So I'm happy to do that. And I also do some patient advocate work for patients and families navigating the healthcare system, which can be difficult. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Oh, thank you for being here. All right, Astrid, I know it is early in your neck of the woods. Are you ready?
Yes, definitely. Well, I'm very happy to be here too with all these fabulous women who have written a chapter for this fabulous book that's coming out now. And I'm in Australia. I'm in Wollongong, New South Wales. I'm a spiritual healer and teacher. I facilitate sensitive adult traumatic experience to heal and let go of the pain so they stand in their power again and feel at peace. And I lead by being a role model in that. And I'm happy to share my part in this book for people to stand back in their power, take back control over their lives again, and feel confident in that.
Thank you for sharing and thank you for being with us. Hi, Anna.
Hi, how are you? Thank you. I feel very blessed to be part of this project. My name is Anna Martinez, and I am a mom of three beautiful girls. And I'm a registered nurse, certified lactation counselor, cruise planners travel agent, and How Money Works financial educator. I'm sorry, I have the kids in the car, so if you hear some background noise, and I'm super excited to be part of this project. One of my focuses is to help new mothers. As a mom of three, I've been there, and there's just so many choices, and I feel I've worked labor and delivery in the past, and just from the moment you get pregnant, I feel that our media doesn't show what motherhood looks like. They should, I feel like they make us believe that it's rainbows and roses, but they don't really get into the nitty gritty of what it really is, and there isn't that. Society doesn't have that support, and so I'm here to help hopefully bridge that gap and help those new mothers with their pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum journey to help them feel confident, replace that fear with confidence. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So for those of you who are just joining and watching, we are launching, it officially launched this morning, our book, Her Healthy Glow. This includes 16 authors from all across the world. The book is about embracing wellness, radiance, confidence, and everything in between. And each one of these women is a contributing author and has shared personal, professional perspectives about her healthy glow. So with that said, I'm going to go back to Carrie. And I'm wondering, Carrie, if you wouldn't mind sharing the title of your chapter and just give a little snippet. Don't give too much away because we want them to get the book. Just a little teeny tiny snippet of what it's about.
Okay. The title of my chapter is Wellness Through Experience. And oh, what experience I have. I'm not going to give too much away, but my story is pretty compelling. It's pretty amazing where I came from and where I am now. I just want you to know out there, if you're in a dark part of your life and things aren't going well and you're really at your lowest and you feel like you don't know which way to turn, there is a way to get your life back and to have a lovely life full of light and love and wellness. So that's really what I want to say. And I can help with that. I have my own company that I founded, Wise Concierge Wellness, and my joy is helping women. So thank you so much.
Thank you. What about you, Astrid? What is your chapter title and what's it about?
So the chapter title is How to Personally Grow to Glow. And yeah, I've written about relationships are opportunities for personal growth. And then a bit more about what do you do with emotions in relationships. So about where are the emotions in your body and how do you handle them. I've spoken about some self-help tools that work the best for me. And how to get back your spark by creativity that brings joy. And with some examples from my own life.
Thank you. What about you, Miss Tina? What is your chapter called and what is it about?
So my chapter is called From Tragedy to Triumph, Embracing Your Healthy Glow, where I talk about the journey of grief. So when I was 3 months old, my dad passed away when he was 23. And that unresolved grief led me to believe that there was never enough time to do everything that my heart desired. So I did everything in my life at accelerated rates. And ultimately that led me to burnout. And I go more in depth into the chapter about how grief and other unresolved traumas can show up and lead to burnout. And I have developed a holistic framework to address burnout and reclaim our sense of fulfillment and purpose in our lives.
Thank you for sharing. What about you, Erica?
Hello. So mine is on how to win at self-care every day, transforming your life with simple daily routines. And I myself had a health journey. I want to say I've read everybody's chapter and they're beautiful, everyone's, they just fit so well together. But I myself had a health journey where my suck it up, drive on, kept going, and I burn out, literally adrenal fatigues, hyperthyroidism, all kinds of things. And so in this chapter, I talk about self-care because burnout is real. And for me, I probably wouldn't have the health issues that I'm dealing with today. And I'm a million times better. I'm grateful to God for that. But in this chapter, I share some of the things that I use and that I help other people use to remember that self-care can be really simple if we put the little steps in place. But it is something that we have to practice like a tool, just like exercise. It's not a muscle that we're used to doing. We're used to, and especially, in the American way, we're always saying, the American dream, work hard. But they don't talk about also take care of your body, tune in, listen to your body, and take care of yourself. So in this, I share some of that journey and what's helped me and what helps other people by learning some simple tools to get into self-care practice every day, because practice makes permanence.
It does. I agree. Let's go to Miss Hanya.
Yes. So my chapter is called Mental Health Wellness. So it's about finding ways how to deal with mental health in your daily life, because as someone who's working on multiple projects all the time, so sometimes I get burnout, and I also deal with anxiety when I have a lot of things at the same time. And so I talk about positive stress, negative stress, how to take care of your body, and what I try practicing every day. And that's my advice that I'm giving to you in there.
Thank you. Let's go to Sonia.
So my chapter is called Awakening Your Glow, the synergy of mind, body, and spirit. And I talk about the burdens that we all carry from unresolved traumas that further complicate our ability to move forward. This often creates a cycle of exhaustion and stagnation, and we can't move forward and glow. And so I talk quite a bit about creating this holistic wellness approach and how we can really embrace a mind-body connection. Talk a little bit about how we cultivate mental resilience and figuring out why things happen to us and what they mean to us, and how to foster post-traumatic growth. I talk about nurturing your spirit, connecting with nature and your spiritual self, reaching out for community support when you need it, integrating your glow and sustaining your wellness, and celebrating your progress, which is super important. And really just all of the ingredients that you need to really embrace your unique glow.
I love that. Thank you. Miss Anna.
Hi. So my chapter is called Crafting Your Labor of Love, the Power of Informed Choices and Preparation. So I talk about my journey discovering that a home birth was even an option to give birth. I'm not advocating that everyone should get a home birth, so disclaimer. But for my family, that was what worked best for us. So I guess the moral of the story is that, especially with this modern day and age, the internet can provide you so much information, and just taking the responsibility of getting informed. The moment you get pregnant, you've become a mother. So just being prepared with the choices that come, during your pregnancy, your childbirth, and even during postpartum. The second part is talks about just creating your village. It's not a free village anymore. A lot of the families are nuclear. You don't have, or grandparents are working. So just being prepared with finding your village. So one is, ignorance isn't bliss, especially when it comes to childbearing and becoming a mother. So that's what my focus was that wellness, right? Creating the birth that you desire, no matter the realm of all the way from getting a home birth all the way to having an epidural and having a C-section. So it's up to you to create that. And I don't really give specific tips because with my prior two anthologies, right, Sensual Symphony and the 100 Voices of Women, or the Voices of 100 Women, I kind of give practical tips and tricks that you guys, you can implement to start creating that life that you desire.
Thank you. My chapter is called The Healthy Glow, Unleashing the Radiance Within. And I really wanted to give women a different perspective on looking at like what that glow is, that the glow is actually internal. And if we've lost our glow, how do we find it? Like, what does that mean? So there's a question that I want to ask each one of you ladies, because I always love to hear the different perspectives, expertise, and just honest answer. When you are talking to your clients and just talking to women in general, what is one thing that you've noticed that causes them to lose that inner glow? So I'm actually going to go to Sonia for this one, and then we'll work our way around the room.
Sure. I think it's a combination of things, but certainly feeling like they don't have support, or feeling like they're a victim and why did this happen to me? I know in my own experiences and working with my clients, we often feel like, why do these terrible things happen when we're good people? And so recognizing that we all have challenges and struggles in our lives, and that they usually come to us to teach us something and to strengthen us, and recognizing that things are not going to be easy. And so when something shows up in our lives, figure out what it means, how we can navigate it, find the right support systems, and hopefully come out of it much stronger with that glow. But I think it's super important to find the right connections, make meaning of the things that happen in our lives, and to make sure that we can foster ongoing growth, both personally, professionally, and spiritually. That's super important.
Thank you. What do you think, Kenya? What do you notice as one of the reasons why women lose their internal glow? What is something you've noticed?
I think it's self-confidence, because that often occurs a lot. For me, growing up, self-confidence was one of the things I dealt with, and being pressurized by peers and people, and it still happens, but it happens at different stages. And also it's like, because there's 16 days of activism on gender-based violence, right? All that's going on, a campaign in Canada. So a lot of women share their stories on how they lost their confidence once being in a situation where they couldn't speak, or where they couldn't just do what they want. So that's where they lose their glow sometimes.
Thank you. What do you think, Tina?
in doing this work for a really long time, I think it all boils down to us not feeling good enough qualified, having enough time, enough everything. And that is the number one thing I work on with clients, is ensuring them that the moment you were conceived in this world and was thought of, you had a purpose that you needed to contribute to the world. So I do a lot of work around self-worth and purpose and alignment. And I feel like when we're not in alignment, that is when all of those undesired things happen. The body starts giving out experiences we probably don't desire transpire. And it's just listening to our bodies. I think also a big part of it is boundaries, right? We try to do everything for everyone else, and we find it very difficult to create boundaries. And I like to use the word we because I am part of that. I feel like we're always evolving, and yeah, that's why I think we lose our healthy glow.
Thank you for sharing. What do you think, Astrid? What have you noticed?
That emotions, big emotions that are triggered, are often causing that we get disconnected. And with disconnected, I mean also from your spiritual connection. I've experienced myself and hear lots of my female clients say the same, that you're becoming that woman who thinks and believes that you have to be superwoman and you have to do everything and keep everything together and take care of everyone, including yourself. But that because of that superwoman status modus, you make yourself going to a lower priority on your list. And sometimes I even have clients who don't have themselves on their list anymore of priorities. So I work a lot with that, finding that emotion that is being triggered and then seeing what has been the effect of that emotion. Are there blocking beliefs created? Is there self-sabotage happening? And how can we come back to that connection to feeling, what do I need, and how do I take care of myself first?
Thank you. What do you think, Carrie?
So many of the women I see have the same issue, and I'm guilty of it, or I used to be more guilty of it. And that is, it's all in the same vein, ladies. Over scheduling, lack of personal time. Okay. Doing something this is huge. Doing something creative is so important. Take some time for yourself. Whatever you like to do, write, paint, sing, dance, whatever brings out that glow inside you, and you know what it is. And if you don't, you can experiment and figure it out. But I know so many women that don't use that in their lives. And the other thing I wanted to say was many times everyone has the answers within themselves. So my job is to bring that out in women and ask the right questions so they figure out, wow, this is what I can do to do this or get here. That's the most important thing, because my job isn't to tell you what to do. My job is to figure out, for us to figure out, what is the best course of action for you to get where you need to be. Thanks.
I love that. Thank you. What about you, Anna?
I couldn't agree more with what everyone said. And when it comes to that, in an ideal world, I feel that we would have our finances in order. We would have it all figured out before we have kids. But sometimes you just get pregnant. And if you're in the middle of maybe not an unexpected, whether wanted or unwanted pregnancy, then now you're scrambling with trying to figure out who you are. How are you going to take care of your child, finding support? And then how do you navigate that glow with now that you have someone who interrupts you 24/7. I've sometimes people say, oh, you block schedule. I'm like, you can't block schedule when you have children. Like, that's just a whole other ball game. So how can we continue our glow despite the fact that now we have a child that we're responsible for? And sometimes it's not as easy as, take the child to grandma and grandpa. If they're, like my mom died 7 years ago, I don't have family who can babysit, or so number one would be support, right? That lack of support that some of you mentioned. Also within you, not feeling confident. Maybe you were good, but now you're a parent. And I was a single child. So I never had that experience of being a babysitter. So I had zero confidence in keeping my baby alive in the very beginning. So, I'm here to help with some practical tips, just like, okay, how do you bathe? How do you swaddle? But sometimes women come to me and it's breastfeeding, the women who want to breastfeed. And for the last 100 years, we've lost all the knowledge on breastfeeding, and sometimes you have a woman who, no matter what she does, she can't breastfeed. Maybe the child had a tongue tie, lip tie, and that's got resolved, but there's still issues. And, her milk supply is low, and just easing that guilt that she wanted to do breastfeeding and she couldn't. So it just goes either way. I'm here to support them. Like, somebody else was saying, they have the answer within them, and I'm here to support them, being non-judgmental. I'm here to support their path, whichever way that might be. So we have a lot on our plates as women, our careers, our own self, our relationships, our spouse, our kids. So just trying to manage it, trying not to overschedule, and just trying to figure that our way.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. What about you, Erica?
Well, I love everything that every one of you said and completely agree. I will say there's a few things that hit me, and one is my background is in neuroscience, and I love working with couples, and I love working with, I do lots of work with individuals as well. But when I work with couples, one of the first things that we talk about is how women are by nature nurturers. So we are not very good at receiving or asking for help. So, how many times does somebody in your life say, hey, do you need help with this? And you go, oh, no, I got it. Or when you're sick and your kid's sick, what do? You get up out of bed and you take care of your kids, even if you're sick, right? Kind of like Anna was talking about, there's often we don't have the luxury of going, oh, well, let me just do this, So I think a lot of it is that we have to learn to tune in to our body and listen to, and then learn to ask for help. Even spiritually, I can't tell you how many people I teach them to go inside and learn to listen to their body and to ask God for what they need help with. And how many times they're like, well, yeah, but God's got so much on his plate, like this is a little thing. I can take care of that. What if you started giving him the biggest to-do list set? And so one of the things in a book that a solo book I'm writing is talking about that, is like giving that to-do list to God of like, okay, here's all the stuff I've got to do, Lord. And so I do that every day. I write a to-do list, and here's God's stuff and here's mine. And I tell you, I would not have recovered as much as I recovered from the sickness without leaning on God and letting God show me and letting God take care of things. I kid you not, there's times I write clean the house and my husband's cleaning the house and he didn't see my to-do list. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. I'm just going to say, sometimes we forget. It's okay also to ask your spouse. So when I work with couples, I'm like, it's okay to ask them. Sometimes I've had couples that I'm like, well, did she ever tell you that she liked this way? And he's like, never. She goes, well, I just thought he should know. He's not a mind reader, right? But so, I think some of this is we do set ourselves up in that place where we try to be superwoman, as Astrid said, and do all the things. I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, right? We grew up in the generation of the mothers who taught us that we could be self-sufficient women. So the pendulum shifted. So in the psychology field, we talk about the pendulum approach, and we went from a pendulum of women relying only on men and not being able to support themselves and support their families, to I can do everything all myself and I don't need anybody else, to we are, and Hannah, I'm just going to cry a minute saying this. This is about teaching women. It's about balance. It's about, you can have it all. You can have all the blessings. You can be successful. You can have love. You can have support. We can love and support one another and lift each other up. There's enough abundance to go around, and we don't have to do it all alone. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for sharing. I think one of the things that I heard throughout each one of your answers is worthiness is in question. Us as women having to take it all on, or thinking we do, leaning into support. All of these things make a huge difference in us as women glowing. And thank you, Sonia, for joining us. It was good to have you. My next question is, and Carrie kind of led this off. Sometimes we don't know, right? We just don't know what we're looking for. We don't know how to get our glow, or how to find it, bring it back. And you kind of touched a little bit on that you said experiment. And so I wanted to know if you could do a little bit of a deeper dive on what you mean, to the woman who, an example, the woman who just became the empty nester. She's raised her kids. She may be newly single. She doesn't know. And she's like, it's a whole new world, right? So how do we help these women experiment? Like, what does that look like?
Well, it involves getting quiet and listening to yourself, like Erica was saying. But I'll give you an example of what I do a lot of. And it starts right from the beginning of my relationship with a client. And your example is a perfect one. So what I suggest, and you don't have to be particularly creative, is to make a vision board. So you can write it, draw it. You can buy on Amazon a thing that's for vision boards. It's like a magazine, and there's all different pictures from all different walks of life, and cut the pictures out and really, think about what resonates with you. And this is something that I suggest that women do seasonally too, because things change. Things change seasonally. This isn't one vision board and that's the rest of my life. No, I find this is really helpful for women to see in black and white. So the woman who's an empty nester, she can start looking at what she wants to do now, what interests her, whatever it is, and put that on the board, and go back to that board. And to your point, Erica, another thing I do is I suggest that we write out some goals, some short-term and long-term, and then we revisit those short terms, in the short term, and and make sure we're still on track with them. Or if they're not important anymore, you'd be surprised how many people they'll write down the life they dream of, right? But then after some time, that really shifts, because they're really looking inside and seeing what's important. And those things that they thought were so important, they really aren't anymore. And it's very interesting. And by the way, I've done all this myself, and so I know it works.
Thank you for sharing. What about you, honey?
I would say, yeah, because this has happened to me too, right? When you're so overwhelmed, you have not just only your work and whatever stuff you do, but you have like outside of that, you have like parties to go to, events to attend, let's say someone's birthday, someone's wedding. It gets overwhelming sometimes, and sometimes you can get just overwhelmed with me this happened where I have like 4 meetings a day, and sometimes the week I have like 4 meetings each day. And I remember like how I am, Like I just need to be away from the electronics for some time after that, because they're all on the computer. And then either I go to for an hour or somewhere, or either I just like sleep, because I need a break from this overwhelmingness. So I think like that's how it works. And then yes, you should always work on your short-term goal and long-term goal. So it's important to make vision board. I agree with that, because even when I compete, we're told, if you have a vision board, you're gonna win. So it's always good to do that.
Thank you for sharing. Tina, do you want to comment or share?
Sure. I agree with Carrie with the vision board. In developing my framework that I work on with my clients, I realized that most of the times when we have the greatest purpose and fulfillment is when our basic needs are met, right? So the first step in my methodology is that we have to ensure that, sometimes we go and we want to buy something at the store, download a time management app or something, but it's like the basic things, like your body is not getting sufficient sleep, water, food. And it's like sometimes we neglect our basic needs, but we go seek something externally. And I think it's also important to like nourish your body and soul. So that's what I would say.
I love that. Oh, how many times have we run to an app thinking that the app was going to be the end all be all save all, and then all of a sudden it's like we just added another thing to our plate, but we still didn't get to the root of what we really needed to get to the root of. What about you, Astrid? What would you like to share on that?
Yeah, from my own experience, I noticed that journaling is amazing. I have piles of papers from over the years. It helps because when you start, well, that's for me at least, when I start writing, suddenly it starts to flow more and I get new insights, and I understand things better. So it helps to get more in connection with yourself, especially when that connection has disappeared. I've noticed that hobbies are really important. So if people don't know how to be creative, for example, if you ask like, what are your hobbies? Yeah, some clients of mine say, I don't know, I don't have hobbies. And then I'm like, okay, well, what about if you're just looking at what does your interest have? What do you get excited about? And find a workshop in your area, what you can do. You meet new people. They're probably like-minded because they have the same hobby or the same interest. So you have something to talk about, and that can help you to come in more contact with your creativity. I love to set intentions. I do good morning intentions and sleep well intentions, and that make a big difference also. So you can set as an intention, like connect me with my creativity, connect me with my desires. Prayer and request to your guides and angels to help and provide works really well for me also. And sometimes it's a matter of going first through your things to do list. And there comes a time when your things to do list has been ticked off. And I've experienced that after my husband passed away. 3 months later, I suddenly noticed like, oh my gosh, that was the last task I had to do for my things to do list. I've done it all. I've worked through everything I needed to do. And then there was like a new phase in the grieving process where I could work more on me. And so it took like a year later where I realized I'm missing singing, I'm missing dancing, and I enrolled myself for private lessons for that. And I remember after the first singing lesson again, I was like, this is something I'm not gonna let go of anymore. Singing is part of my life. I need to keep that.
I love that. Hobbies, like really embracing. Journaling is a huge one for me too. Anna.
I couldn't agree more, because I know in my postpartum journey, for me, I enrolled myself in a bachata dance team, because that way I had to go to practice. I had to leave the husband with the kids every Wednesday night, no matter what. even if when I was super tired, even when I didn't want to leave, I couldn't, what was it? I couldn't let down the team. So for me, for sure, dancing helped. But sometimes we don't know what we like, and sometimes we lose ourselves, especially in motherhood. We everything goes towards that child. We lose ourselves. And so one of the books I read was Rich as F by Amanda Francis. And even though it's mainly talking about finances, she has a lot of journaling prompts. So the journaling, and she asks all these questions, and it really. So I've never been asked these questions before, and a lot of it was about that mindset shift, that change. We have so many limiting beliefs, and it's like, okay, if one of the questions was like, if what would you want if it wasn't morally wrong, or not in a bad way, like not something illegal or anything, but it's just to think outside your box, just to get you thinking, like, what would you want, and so I always tell people, read this book. Your finances might be great, but sometimes we have so many limiting beliefs that we need those prompts to ask those questions if you don't know where to start. So, I know I'm not good at just like picking up a pen and just journaling, but when you're asking me questions, then it gets me thinking, it gets me my ideas flowing, gives me those, those insights, and it definitely does help. So that for me, it was reading that book and the journaling.
I love that. I think a lot of times, especially when we're juggling a lot of roles, I think we as women lose our own identity. And so I love how Carrie said experiment, like figuring out, what is your hobby? What is one of your favorite things of self-care? Or have you ever even tried self-care? Like I think Tina said, oftentimes we put our own self-care on the back burner, and we're saying yes, yes, yes to everyone and everything. And then we're all of a sudden we're like, whoa, what just happened? So I think, this book that we're talking about, for those who are just jumping on and watching, we released a book today called Her Healthy Glow. And it really is about the inner glow, because if we're glowing on the inside, if we're feeling that radiance, that confidence, it's going to come out in our outward appearance and how we speak, how we live. It just shows the energy, the vibrant. So we really, our insides, our mental health, our emotional health, our physical, they really all have to be in harmony. And it's really sad. Here's my hope, and then I'm going to juggle this around the room before we close out. One of the biggest reasons why I created this book and where this came from was one of my own journals. And I wanted it to be a book that, yes, helped women who are in their 30s, 40s, and up, but I also wanted to teach the younger women how to keep their identity, how to know who they are, how important their inner glow is. And really just, we're times are changing in life and business for all women. And women are becoming younger mamas, and they need books like this and guidance like this from us. We've walked the walk, talked the talk. We wrote the test, took the test, failed the test, did it again and again. And so my hope for this book is that we reach the exact women who need to read and hear it and understand it and live it. Because each one of us shared a perspective on how we experienced going through some of the messes that are now our messages. But can you imagine what the younger girls, if they pick this book up and they're reading this and they're like, wow, this is a game changer. The support, like getting the support that you've talked about, experimenting, finding out who you are. You don't have to have it all together. You don't always have to say yes. And even if you're a mom, that's not all you are. I play several roles. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a helicopter mom, I'm a helicopter grandma, right? And pretty soon I'm one of those that started to lose my identity. And I said, this can't happen. So if I'm feeling that, can you imagine how many other women out there are feeling that and going through that? So I think like this book is filled with like the perfect 16 women to really show the different perspectives on what her healthy glow is, if you lost it, how you find it, how you keep it, and how to navigate through life. So that's my hope for whoever reads this, like find that glow, keep that glow, and share that glow. So I'm going to ping pong it back to Tina. What is your hope for the reader?
I think you did such a great job, but one of the things that came through when you were speaking was that you said the word mess. And what dropped in for me is that only with age, which is mess and age come together, do you get the message. So that's, I hope that the book provides messages for you to find your glow.
I love that. Astrid.
Yeah, my hope is that the book provides tools to reconnect with your inner glow, to reconnect with your spark. Because, you know, when you lose yourself in a situation, in a traumatic experience, you lose your spark. And how do you find it back? Well, to just keep trying and keep searching. And that is a journey by itself. But that the book gives tools how to do that, and so that you can reconnect with yourself again.
Beautiful. Thank you. Erica.
I'll answer that, but I'm going to go back to the first question because I didn't get to answer that. But tune into childhood. What was the things you loved when you were a kid? What lit you up? So if you're being curious and going back to what did you love when you were a kid? What were the things that lit you up? And then being curious and trying those as a way to get back into what brings back that glow. And then with this book, I agree completely with every one of you guys, but tools, I think every time I work with somebody, that's the one thing that they tell me over and over again is I've seen I've spent thousands of dollars in counseling and things like that, and nobody's ever given me these tools. And so, which is my background's in neuroscience, and I'm like, you have to practice different tools until they get good in your life. It's like riding a bike. I think about my 2-year-old grandson. My 2-year-old grandson is learning to potty train. We all learned to potty train. It was a skill. Self-care is a skill. It's a skill we all need to learn and teach the young women how to do those things too.
Thank you. Anna.
Hi. So for me, it would be to be responsible or take on that responsibility to learn to advocate for yourself, that, no one's going to do this for you. No one's going to do self-care for you. If you don't prioritize yourself, who is going to prioritize you? So that it all starts with you, right? Taking on responsibility and advocating for yourself. And I'm hoping with all this book will help you, show you different ways of doing that.
I love that. And Miss Carrie.
I just want to say that life is a journey, and no matter where you are in that journey, there's hope, and you can come back from anything. I'm proof of that. Sometimes what was the worst thing that ever happened to you is just such a blessing in the end. So especially for the younger generation, because they're still figuring it out. So are we, but we're a little smarter, with time and experience. But I hope that they get that message, because you know how it is when you're young. You feel like it's the worst thing ever, but later on, it turns out it wasn't so bad. It really was a catalyst for you to change your life. So thanks.
Well, ladies, as we conclude today's Light the Torch for Her Healthy Glow, I just want to thank each one of you for coming on today and spending this afternoon with me. I'm very excited for this book to reach the hands of those who really need it most. And you can get this book all across Amazon. I know we have some panel discussions that we're setting up to bring these authors back to do a deeper dive into their expertise, talk a little bit more about their chapters. So this won't be the last time you see these beautiful faces. And Right now it's an ebook format, so you can download it. It's literally 99 cents today. It's a really great gift to give. And I just want to say congratulations to all 16 women for writing impeccable chapters, for being a part of this. I don't know if people realize what we go through as we're authoring our chapters. It requires us to do that deep dive and think of what it really means, what we're writing about. We're sharing our own personal experiences, and that's bravery in itself. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you for being a part of this book with me. And let's go light this torch and spread her healthy glow. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for being with me, and thank you everyone for watching. Please share this. Like I said, it's on Amazon, and happy holidays to everyone. Bye, everybody.
Bye.